Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Quarterfinals of the Champions League 2021. The repeat of the final of the Champions League from 3 seasons ago in 2018. Potential revenge for Liverpool. That's all the introduction this video needs. Let's get started. What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. Before getting started with this pre-game analysis for the Liverpool game in the Champions League, I do want to remind you that we have released yesterday actually our video of the full predictions and full analysis of all the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So make sure you go check that one out. I do also want to remind you guys that this time around we're going to be doing live reactions to obviously the Real Madrid Liverpool game, but also the the Bayern versus PSG game, which you're not going to want to miss. And with that being said, I highly suggest that you go hit the subscribe button right now, and while you're at it down there, make sure you hit the like button as well to help this video reach a wider audience so more people can see it and more people can join the channel and the family. With that being said, it's time to get started, and I wanted to start off talking about Real Madrid's form. It seems like this season it's been an up and down, similar to Liverpool honestly, but we seem to be hitting this crucial week of the season. Crucial week because obviously we have both Liverpool games, and in between that we have Barcelona, but we seem to be hitting this crucial week at one of our best forms of the season. Vinicius Jr. finally seems to be getting some type of form in himself. His passing, he's been assisting a little more. His shooting is getting maybe a little bit better. We obviously saw the Atalanta game where he was probably one of the MVPs of that game. Aside from that, Marco Asensio's been bagging some goals. The midfield's still bossing it up as they have been for the majority of the season. And the defense seems to be racking up a good amount of clean sheets. So in terms of a Madrid form perspective, we are going into this week with high hopes. But like I already alluded to, we have the Barcelona game in the weekend right in between the two Liverpool games, which, some people could argue that it could cloud our judgment, hinder our ability to just focus on the Champions League. And it's a potential reality, especially after Atletico Madrid dropped points. So, I don't know. I personally think that Real Madrid they're always gonna focus on the Champions League. I think Real Madrid's major target is always the Champions League. However, we'll see. We'll see if it actually gets in the way or not. But with that being said, let's kind of continue on talking about this game. We are playing the first leg at home, which will give us the advantage of going into that second leg at Anfield Stadium in Liverpool's own stadium. And if we're potentially tied, it could give us a whole extra time in which we have the away goal to our advantage. But with that being said, this game will be at home, and we want to minimize the amount of goals that Liverpool concedes, because ties like this that are super crucial will likely come down to away goals. And if Liverpool bags 2+ goals in this game, it'll give us a very, very tough time to actually getting through to the semifinals. So with that being said, defense is going to be a huge key for Real Madrid this game. Concentration. We're going to talk a little more later on in the video about our potential lineup, but I do want to remind you guys that Sergio Ramos picked up a stupid... I shouldn't have gone with Spain. It still pisses me off to this day, but he picked up a stupid injury, pulled a calf muscle, so he will not be available for this game, which is a pretty big loss for Real Madrid. However, I do want to say that Madridistas, you guys should be calm. I do sense, and some of you guys were commenting on the previous video that you were a little anxious about Ramos not being here for this game, but I do want to send you guys some calming words. Just remember that Ramos has already missed a large part of this season, and we have actually hit our best form without the captain. So it gives us a little bit of hope. We don't rely on him as much as we maybe did the seasons before, or at least a couple months ago. So those are some calming words. But with that being said, let's go and transition on to Liverpool a little more. Obviously, their defense is a big talking point, as their 3 center backs have been injured for the majority of the season: Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, and Matip, which leaves a pretty big gap for them, in that spot. Unfortunately, they struggled to find form in that defense. The 2 center backs that replaced them, Phillips and Kabak, really struggled to find some form. Klopp was trying to switch things up with putting Fabinho at center back, then putting on Henderson at center back. Henderson, who's also going to be, I think, missing this game. And it seems like for a wide portion of the past couple months, they've struggled to find that that continuity in the center backs. But however, it does seem that right at the worst time for Real Madrid, they are finding a little more form in their defense. So we'll see how that goes. However, I will say that one of the keys will be our counterattack. Liverpool is a team that likes to press high. They will take the game to us, and that's, if we look at the past games from this season that Real Madrid played against top teams that actually propose an offensive type of football to you, that is exactly when Real Madrid seems to excel, especially when they take advantage of Vinicius Junior's pace and the mental strength, the tactical awareness of Karim Benzema on the field. So that'll definitely give us an edge there potentially. A little more facts about Liverpool. Last video I threw on the fact that they had actually only won 8 out of their last 20 games, so that's less than half of them. And also they lost. Their only game that they lost this year in the Champions League was against Atalanta, the team that we actually eliminated in the round of 16. However, I want to say that you guys, and we should take no meaning from that. Statistics are just statistics, and they don't necessarily mean that they will actually play a part in the game. Whenever two giants like this come and clash, usually all those statistics are thrown out the window and the game becomes very, very even. So, you know, it's just kind of fun facts to know, but I wouldn't take those things too seriously. With that being said, now I want to talk a little more about the Liverpool's midfield, which is mainly consisted of Fabinho and Thiago. Thiago Alcantara obviously came from Bayern Munich at the end of last season, and he's received a lot of criticism because he has not been playing at the same form that he was at Bayern Munich. However, I did watch their last game against Arsenal, and you know, I've been watching a few other games to try to get a little more of understanding of how Liverpool's been playing lately, and it seems to me, in my opinion, that Thiago is starting to hit a pretty good amount of form. He looks pretty agile. He looks like his vision is, you know, he's hitting a better vision, and I think that's because of the fact that Fabinho is no longer playing at center back, and so that's allowing Fabinho to actually play at center mid, relieving Thiago of some of the defensive duties that were probably hindering his attacking capabilities, and so that is a pretty big win for Liverpool right there, having Fabinho back in the center mid and a Thiago that is flourishing a little more with his attacking capabilities and his vision. So we'll see how that goes. And last but not least, let's talk a little more about Liverpool's most dangerous part, which is their attack, their front three, that deadly front three that basically won them already a Champions League with Salah, Sadio Mane, and Roberto Firmino. Roberto Firmino, who has not been in the greatest of forms, he's actually just coming back from an injury. However, I am curious to see who Klopp is going to start up top for Liverpool, because Diogo Jota, the player that they recently bought from Wolverhampton, has been playing very, very good, out of his skin. With Portugal, scored a good amount of goals, and then this weekend against Arsenal scored 2 goals already. So personally, if I were Klopp, I would start Diogo Jota unless he starts all 4, which he already tested out in that Arsenal game. But personally, I think he would lose a lot of balance in that midfield with only having Fabinho and Thiago, and I don't think that would be smart to play against a midfield, a very experienced midfield that we have at Real Madrid with Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, and Casemiro, of course. So with that being said, let's transition a little more to Real Madrid. As I already mentioned, we're not going to be having Sergio Ramos this game, but we're also going to be missing Eden Hazard and Carvajal. Eden Hazard, a player that I don't really expect much from, so in my opinion, not even a big loss. Real Madrid knows how to play without him at this point. Carvajal is a big loss, but at the same time, we haven't played with him much this season. So really, aside from Ramos, not that many losses. You know, a lot of these players are players that haven't played a lot of the season, so we know how to play with the team that we are going into this game with, and that is a big point to consider. And with that being said, Fede Valverde is back from injury. He is back on that squad list, so I don't think he's going to be starting personally. He's been obviously out for a couple weeks, and our other midfielders have been playing really, really good. But Fede Valverde will be a huge player to come off the bench. Even if he just gets 20, 15, 10 minutes, it'll be a big boost for us. And it's time to talk a little more about the starting lineup. And as you guys that have been following Real Madrid, we know that Zidane has been experimenting with 5 in the back, and it's actually seemed to be working quite nicely. I think one of our best games this season was against Atalanta in that second leg, when we actually matched up their 5 in the back formation. And I think that's exactly what Zidane is gonna opt for. He played 5 in the back this weekend against Eibar, and we actually played a very, very good game. Yes, I know, guys, I did not have a post-analysis video for that one, and that is because it was my birthday, and the game the next day was a quite early one, and that was just not a day I was gonna wake up early. Let's just leave it at that. But with that being said, let's talk about the actual formation for Real Madrid. Courtois in the goal, no questions about that. Lucas Vázquez at right back, and now in the Eibar game, he ended up going for Militao at center back, Mendy as the other center back, and Marcelo as the left back. So it's going to be a hybrid of this. I am not going to go for Militao. Personally, I think that Militao, somehow he always ends up playing like one of the biggest games for us at the end of the season. You know, last year he played against Manchester City. This season, he's barely played, so I would not give him the go-ahead against a team like Liverpool. So I'm going to be going for Varane as the right center back. Nacho, who has been playing very, very good ever since Sergio Ramos' injury. Against Atalanta, he had a phenomenal, both legs were phenomenal from him. And then the third center back will be Mendy for me. I think this is perfect because a lot of times we can see a Mendy that offensively, he gets a little bit awkward. Defensively, he has no problems, right? His physique, his pace, strength, everything about him makes him a great defender. But going forward, he can sometimes struggle. Yes, he scored that goal against Atalanta, but in my opinion, was a little bit lucky. If you haven't seen our live reactions to that, I highly suggest that you do. However, in that left wing back position, I'm going to be going for Marcelo, and I think this could be the differential, right? This could be what allows us to have a way better transition from the defense to the midfield, and obviously we know the midfield has got the firepower to transition that ball up top to Karim Benzema and Vinicius Jr. But Marcelo, when he goes forward, is differential. And the fact that we have 5 in the back, this relieves him of some of the defensive duties that we often criticize him for. So this could be potentially huge for us. I do remember that this season against Getafe, Zidane once again tested out that 5 in the back formation with Marcelo at left wing back, and he was probably the man of the match of that game. We once again won that game fairly easily. So I'm really excited to see this potential lineup, and I have a strong feeling that this is what we're going to go out there with. Midfield, you guys already know the 3 in the back, 3 in the midfield. Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, they're going to boss it up. That's that. However, I do want to say, if we're able to play, if Liverpool allows us, I don't want to say allows us because we are Real Madrid, we're going to take the game to them. So if we are able to play to the rhythm of Toni Kroos and Modric, then I think Liverpool's going to have a very, very rough times. However, I've been saying it for a long time now. The Premier League is at a new level. The Premier League is actually at a top level compared to La Liga. Previous years, I always argued against that, but this time around, I think it's no argue about the fact that the Premier League is in a better form overall. Their pace of game is just completely better, completely faster. The rhythm of game is completely faster than La Liga, and Liverpool is capable of doing that with the certain players that they have. So in the sense that Liverpool goes out there with a lot of intensity, which is in my opinion how they should go out there and how Klopp should line up his boys out there, then I can see Real Madrid struggling a lot more. But if Toni Kroos, like I said, if Toni Kroos and Modric are able to impose their playing style, the rhythm of play, then I think Liverpool will have a very, very tough times. Up top, guys, we have Karim Benzema, no questions asked. However, I do hope that he continues his form. He's probably hitting one of his best forms of his career. 7 games in a row that he's been scoring, so it's phenomenal. But it does seem like whenever Karim Benzema is having a bad game, overall Real Madrid offensively struggles a lot. So we're just going to have to hope that Karim Benzema is having an inspired night. And alongside of him, Vinicius Jr., the man that has been growing a lot thanks to Eden Hazard's injury, really. He seems, like I said earlier, he seems to be getting a lot more confidence with his passing, with his shooting. Hopefully, imagine the scenes if he's able to put one in the back of the net against Liverpool. I will be screaming off my bloody mind. Reminder to hit that subscribe button to see those live reactions. Okay guys, I don't want to drag this video on any longer. It's time for the predictions, and of course you guys know that I also want to hear your predictions for a potential to win a Karim Benzema home jersey that I don't currently have with me, but you guys already know what that looks like. So make sure you hit your predictions down below. And for me, I think Liverpool is definitely going to get a goal. They're definitely going to get a goal this game. But of course, Real Madrid is going to pull off with a victory. I think it's going to be a narrow one, a 2-1 victory. Seems like an easier prediction to make, but it's obviously going to be an extremely tight game. And so that's what I'm going for, a 2-1 win for Real Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals. So guys, I'm extremely excited. Like I already said, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button as well, and I will see you guys tomorrow. As always, a la Madrid.